Hi, this is Marty, and this is another e-commerce masterclass. Tonight's class is on cutting big data down to size. And you can see here on my screen there's a bunch of data. It happens to be about the audio category, but really this process that we're going to share applies to anything that you do. The first thing we do is we kind of create different cuts. The first cut that I like to create is just an alphabetical cut to make sure that I don't have any duplicate information, and I check through that, and sure enough I do not. So now I'm ready to start categorizing. Categorizing is really the key. You can categorize in any way you want, but when you begin to categorize, you're going to start to put structure into the data. Once we have these categories, we can start to sort on them, and we can start to see our category totals. And so here you can start to see some category total information. Here's some PC data, for example. And here's some PC cable information. And so we can see that for PC cables, the cost per day is this. There are this many advertisers. The SEO difficulty rating is this. This is their broad phrase and exact estimated cost. These are their global searches on a daily basis. And here's some other information. And so once we start to categorize information, we can then summarize and get subtotals. Once we have subtotals, we can begin to cut out detail data and just look at the totals. Really what we're doing all this work to do is get to a picture. That's really how you cut big data down to size. Here's the keyword opportunity score, to a proprietary way of looking at this information. And so that'll tell us, okay, if we start down here, we'll probably have more success than if we start up here. It doesn't mean that we can ignore these keywords, because these keywords can be very important. They can be what I call cost of poker keywords. If you don't have them, you look like you're not really in business. And so you must develop some content around these. Shure is a very important brand in the audio space, and so is Sennheiser. And so you're gonna have to have information in those categories. Do another kind of a look that we love, which is to start to really understand the business from a 30,000 foot view. And in this case, we can see that categories are the lion's share, but brands are very important as well. Not a big surprise. Content, this did surprise us a little bit. The content would be such a small percentage, but some of this content rating is inside of both of these pie charts as well. I mean, content can exist in brands and content can exist in categories. We were pretty restrictive in the content that we defined in our categories. Just it was review content, best count, best this, best that. So only 3% of the searches that are being done in the study group. That's the other thing to remember is we're only talking about the group that we're studying. We're not making larger than that assumptions. But this really helps us understand that, hey, brands are important and categories are important. So get the categories right. And the way you get the categories right is you go back to your information in here and you start to look at what's important within each category. That's an end of another e-commerce masterclass, and hope you have an idea about how to cut big data down to size now. Thanks. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.